You could walk into a bar in Manila, Saigon, and Bangkok on the same trip, meet three wonderful women, and come home thinking you understand Southeast Asian dating. You would be completely wrong. Because the differences between Filipino, Vietnamese, and Thai women when it comes to relationships, family expectations, and what they actually want from you. These differences are massive, and they will determine whether your experience in Southeast Asia becomes the best chapter of your life or an expensive lesson you wish you could take back. I've seen guys who thrived in Thailand completely crash and burn in the Philippines. Men who found genuine love in Vietnam but couldn't handle the family dynamics. And plenty of expats who bounced between all three countries for years before finally understanding what actually makes each one different. So, today, we're going to break down the real differences across 4 areas that matter the most. Dating expectations, family involvement, communication and language, and the cultural values that shape everything underneath. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which country matches what you're actually looking for. Let's start with dating expectations, because this is where the surprises hit first. In the Philippines, dating is not casual, and I mean that literally. There is a tradition called panliligaw, which is the formal courtship process, and while younger Filipinas in Manila might be more relaxed about it, the underlying cultural expectation has not disappeared. A Filipino woman expects effort. She expects consistency. She expects you to demonstrate over time that you are serious. This is not playing hard to get in the Western sense. It is a genuine cultural expectation that a man proves his intentions before a relationship becomes official. You might meet a Filipina online, chat for weeks, fly over to meet her, and still find that she considers you in the getting to know you phase. This confuses a lot of Western men who assume that if a woman is talking to you regularly, you are already in a relationship. Here is what that looks like in practice. Small gifts matter. Remembering details about her life matters. Meeting her friends before meeting her family matters. There is a progression, and trying to skip steps often backfires. Filipino women talk to each other, and if you come across as rushing things or just looking for something quick, word travels. The flip side is that when a Filipina commits, she commits fully. The loyalty and devotion that Filipino women are known for does not come from nowhere. It comes from a culture that treats commitment as something earned through demonstrated effort, not assumed through attraction. Now, Vietnam is a completely different situation. Vietnamese dating culture is more formal in some ways and more direct in others. There is less of the extended courtship dance, but there is a much stronger expectation that dating leads somewhere specific, namely marriage. A Vietnamese woman in her late 20s or 30s who is dating a foreigner is often dealing with significant family pressure. In Vietnamese culture, being unmarried past a certain age carries social weight. So when she is dating you, the question of where this is going is not something that comes up only later. It is present from the beginning, even if she does not say it out loud. This creates a dynamic where Vietnamese women can seem more serious faster. They are evaluating you as a potential husband from early on, not because they are desperate, but because that is how their culture frames adult relationships. Dating for fun without a clear direction is more of a Western concept that does not translate cleanly. The advantage here is clarity. If a Vietnamese woman continues seeing you after a few dates, it means she genuinely sees potential. The disadvantage is that if you are not sure what you want, you can accidentally lead someone on without realizing the weight she is placing on your time together. Vietnamese women also tend to be more reserved initially. Public displays of affection are less common. Holding hands might happen, but anything beyond that in public is rare until the relationship is very established. This is not coldness. This is cultural propriety. Behind closed doors, the dynamic can be very different. Thailand operates on almost the opposite end of the spectrum, at least on the surface. Thai dating culture, especially in tourist areas and major cities, appears incredibly relaxed. You can meet someone, spend time together, and there is often no immediate pressure to define what you are. This appeals to a lot of Western men because it feels easy and low pressure compared to what they are used to back home. But here's what most guys miss. The relaxed surface does not mean Thai women do not have expectations. It means those expectations are communicated differently. Thai culture avoids direct confrontation. So instead of telling you what she wants, a Thai woman might withdraw, become less responsive, or say everything is fine when it clearly is not. This is where the concept of face becomes important. Saving face, avoiding embarrassment, and not putting someone in an uncomfortable position are deeply embedded in Thai culture. A Thai woman might be deeply unhappy with something you did, but she will not tell you directly because that would cause you to lose face. Western men used to direct communication often interpret this as everything being fine. Then they are blindsided when the relationship ends, or problems surface that have apparently been building for months. The other thing to understand about Thailand is the distinction between different types of relationships. Thailand has a well-known nightlife scene, and that has created assumptions that do not apply to the broader population. A university-educated Thai woman from a good family has completely different expectations than someone you might meet in a tourist bar. Treating them the same is a fast track to confusion. So, to summarize the dating expectations across all three countries, Filipino women want to see consistent effort over time. The courtship phase is real, and skipping it signals that you are not serious. Vietnamese women evaluate marriage potential from early on. Dating is purposeful, and family pressure in the background shapes how seriously she takes the relationship. Thai women appear relaxed and easygoing on the surface, but they communicate indirectly. What seems casual might have deeper expectations that you will only discover if you learn to read between the lines. Now let's talk about family. This is where things get really different. In the Philippines, family is not just important. Family is everything. I am not using that phrase casually. When you date a Filipina seriously, you are entering into a relationship with her entire extended family, her parents, her siblings, her aunts, uncles, and cousins. The concept of close family in Western terms does not translate. Everyone is close family. This has practical implications that catch many Western men off guard. Financial support for family members is expected. If her parents need help with medical bills, that becomes your responsibility. If a sibling is struggling, you help. If a cousin needs a small loan to start a business, the family looks to whoever has resources. This is not gold digging in the way Westerners sometimes frame it. It is the cultural norm. Filipino families operate as collective units. Resources flow to whoever needs them. And when a Filipino woman marries a foreigner who has more resources than most Filipino men, the family's expectations adjust accordingly. Some Western men embrace this completely. They see themselves as having the privilege of helping people they care about. Others feel overwhelmed or taken advantage of. The difference usually comes down to whether you understood this dynamic before entering the relationship or discovered it after. The family approval process for marriage is also significant. In traditional families, the man's family formally visits the woman's family to ask permission for the relationship to proceed. There are gifts involved, and there is ceremony. Even in more modern families that skip formal traditions, getting the family's blessing still matters enormously. If her family does not like you, that is a problem. Not an insurmountable one, but a real one that affects the relationship long-term. Vietnam has similarly strong family bonds, but the dynamic expresses differently. Vietnamese families place enormous emphasis on approval before marriage. Meeting the parents is not casual. It is a significant milestone that signals serious intent. Her parents' opinion of you will heavily influence whether the relationship moves forward. Vietnamese families also care about status and stability. What do you do for work? Do you own property? What is your plan for the future? These questions are not small talk. They are evaluation criteria. A Vietnamese family wants to know that their daughter will be taken care of, and they will ask questions that might feel intrusive by Western standards. Financial expectations exist in Vietnam too, but they tend to focus more specifically on the parents rather than on the extended family network. Caring for elderly parents is a core cultural obligation. If her parents are aging, the expectation that you will contribute to their care is simply assumed. Vietnamese culture places enormous value on education and achievement. If you do not have a college degree or a clear career path, some Vietnamese families will see that as a red flag. This is different from the Philippines or Thailand, where personality and how you treat their daughter might outweigh professional credentials. Thailand has the most independent family dynamic of the three, though that comes with its own nuances. Thai families generally give their adult children more autonomy in choosing partners. Meeting the parents is still important, but it is less of a formal gate that determines whether the relationship can continue. If she likes you and you treat her well, that often carries more weight than her parents' detailed approval. The financial expectations in Thailand also tend to be more formalized when they exist. You might be explicitly told that a sin sod, or bride price, is expected for marriage. This is a payment made to the bride's family as a sign of respect and capability. The amounts vary enormously depending on the family's status and the woman's education level. Some Thai families don't expect sin sod at all, especially if you're older or previously married. Others treat it as essential. The key is that it's discussed relatively openly rather than assumed in the background. Thai women are also more likely to live independently from their families, especially if they work in cities away from their home provinces. This creates more separation between your relationship and her family obligations than you'd typically find in the Philippines or Vietnam. But here's the catch. When Thai families do need support, the expectation is still there. It is just less constant. You might not be contributing monthly, but when a crisis hits, whether it is medical bills, farming debts, or helping a sibling, the call for help will come. So the family comparison breaks down like this. Filipino families integrate you fully into an extended network with ongoing financial and social obligations. The family is ever present. Emphasis on integration and ongoing responsibility. Vietnamese families focus on formal approval and status, with particular emphasis on caring for her parents. Education and stability matter. Emphasis on approval and family reputation. Thai families offer more day-to-day independence, but financial expectations surface around marriage and during crises. The Sin Sod tradition formalizes some of this. Emphasis on independence with conditional expectations. Now let's talk about communication, because this is where relationships actually succeed or fail. English proficiency across these three countries is not even close. The Philippines has the highest English fluency in Southeast Asia. English is an official language. It is taught in schools from an early age. Most Filipinas you meet, especially in cities, will speak English comfortably enough to have real conversations about complex topics. This is a massive advantage that some guys do not fully appreciate until they have struggled to communicate in another country. Being able to actually talk to your partner, discuss problems, share jokes, and understand each other's perspectives requires language ability. The Philippines makes this dramatically easier. Emphasis on English. Vietnam sits in the middle. Younger Vietnamese people, especially those in major cities like Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi, increasingly speak English, but fluency levels vary widely. You might meet a Vietnamese woman who speaks excellent English because she works in tourism or business, and another who can only manage basic phrases. This matters for relationship depth. If you cannot actually have conversations beyond simple topics, the relationship stays surface level. Some men do not mind this, especially initially, but years into a relationship, communication limitations become frustrating for both people. Thailand generally has lower English proficiency than both the Philippines and Vietnam. Thai people are famously friendly and welcoming, but outside of tourist industry workers, English ability drops off quickly. University-educated Thai women in Bangkok often speak English well, but that is a subset of the population. Emphasis on lower proficiency. If you are dating in Thailand, learning at least basic Thai becomes more important than in the other two countries. And even with some Thai ability, the indirect communication style means that understanding what she is actually saying requires reading between the lines. Beyond language itself, communication styles differ dramatically. Filipinas tend to be the most emotionally expressive of the three. They will tell you when they are happy, sad, frustrated, or worried. This directness can feel overwhelming to some Western men, but it also means you generally know where you stand. Problems do not fester in silence. Filipino women are also comfortable asking for what they need. If she needs help, she will tell you. If she wants more attention, you will hear about it. This can feel like pressure, but it is actually valuable. You are not left guessing. Vietnamese women are more reserved, especially early in relationships. They express love through actions rather than words. She might not say, "I love you" often, but she'll cook for you, remember small details, and take care of you when you're sick. The language of care is behavioral rather than verbal. This creates a different relationship rhythm. You learn to pay attention to what she does rather than what she says. And when she does express something directly, it carries more weight because it is less frequent. Thai women are the most indirect communicators of the three. They avoid confrontation, soften criticism, and often say yes when they mean maybe or even no. This is not dishonesty. It is a different cultural framework where maintaining harmony matters more than absolute directness. Learning to understand Thai communication means watching behavior over time. Does she follow through on plans? Does she seem happy to see you? Is she making time for you? The answers to these questions tell you more than her words often do. This indirect style also means that conflicts can simmer without being addressed. A Thai woman might smile and say everything is fine while feeling deeply hurt. If you are not paying attention to mood shifts and behavioral changes, you can miss major problems until they become irreversible. So, for communication, here's the summary. The Philippines offers the easiest communication thanks to widespread English fluency and emotionally direct expression. You will know where you stand. Vietnam provides moderate English ability depending on education and location, with a more reserved communication style that expresses love through action. Thailand presents more language barriers and uses indirect communication where reading between the lines becomes essential. Let's move to the final comparison category: cultural values and lifestyle. Religion plays dramatically different roles in these three cultures. The Philippines is overwhelmingly Catholic. Over 80% of the population identifies as Catholic, and it is not just nominal. Religion actively shapes daily life, moral values, and relationship expectations. Divorce is still illegal in the Philippines, and that tells you how seriously the culture treats marriage vows. For a Western man, this means that a religious Filipina will likely expect you to respect her faith even if you do not share it. Going to church with her, participating in religious holidays, and raising children Catholic are common expectations. Openly dismissing or mocking religion will not go over well. The Catholic influence also shapes views on fidelity and family. The expectation of lifelong commitment is not just cultural, it is religious. This can be deeply reassuring for men looking for genuine partnership, but it also means relationship problems cannot be easily escaped. You are expected to work through difficulties, not leave when things get hard. Vietnam is officially atheist as a communist country, but Buddhism and folk traditions remain deeply embedded in daily life. Religious practice is less formal and more integrated into everyday routines. Ancestor veneration is common, and superstitions about luck and fortune influence decisions. For relationships, this means fewer explicit religious expectations, but a strong sense of tradition and respect for elders. The moral framework is more Confucian than religious. Hierarchy, respect, education, and filial piety shape behavior even if they are not tied to a church. Thailand is predominantly Buddhist, and that shapes the culture in subtle but significant ways. Buddhist concepts like karma, detachment, and acceptance of impermanence affect how Thai people approach problems and conflicts. The Thai concept of Mai Pen Rai roughly translates to never mind or do not worry about it. This philosophy of letting things go rather than confronting issues directly shapes relationship dynamics. It can be refreshing compared to Western problem-solving intensity, but it can also feel like avoidance when you want to actually resolve something. Social hierarchy and face culture also differ across the three countries. All Southeast Asian cultures value saving face and respecting social hierarchies. The intensity and the specific expressions of those values vary. Thailand probably has the most rigid social hierarchy of the three. Respect for elders and social superiors is paramount. This affects how your partner interacts with you in public versus private, how you should behave around her family, and how you are expected to carry yourself as a presumably wealthier foreigner. Never publicly criticize or embarrass a Thai person. Do not raise your voice. Do not make someone look bad in front of others. These are not just relationship tips, they are fundamental cultural rules that affect every interaction. Vietnam has strong hierarchical traditions rooted in Confucian values. Age brings automatic respect. The older brother has authority over younger siblings. The family patriarch's word carries weight. Understanding your place in these hierarchies helps you navigate family dynamics. The Philippines has hierarchy too, but Filipino culture is generally more egalitarian and openly warm than Thai or Vietnamese culture. The formality is lower. Teasing and joking across generations is common. This makes Filipino family integration feel more accessible to most Westerners. Daily life expectations and domestic roles also play out differently. Filipinas generally expect men to be providers, but they are often hardworking themselves and accustomed to contributing. Many Filipino women work outside the home, send money to family, and manage household responsibilities simultaneously. Vietnamese women tend to be extremely hardworking and often continue working even in comfortable financial situations. There is a strong work ethic embedded in the culture. The expectation is not that you will provide so she can stay home, but rather that you will build something together. Thai culture traditionally expected men to provide and women to manage the home, but this is shifting, especially among educated urban women. Still, traditional expectations persist in many areas. Understanding whether your partner holds traditional or modern views about gender roles is important before committing. So, where does all this leave you? Let me give you some honest guidance about which country might fit which type of man. The Philippines is best suited for men who want full integration into a warm extended family network. If you genuinely enjoy family gatherings, do not mind ongoing financial contributions to people you care about, and want a partner who communicates directly about her feelings and needs, Filipino women and culture will suit you well. Men who prefer privacy, independence, and minimal family obligations often feel overwhelmed in the Philippines. The family bonds that make Filipino relationships so loyal can also feel suffocating if that is not what you signed up for. Vietnam works well for men who are ready for a serious commitment and comfortable with formal family expectations. If you are stable, established, and looking for a partner who values hard work and building a future together, Vietnamese women offer that complementary energy. Men who want casual relationships or are not sure what they are looking for will struggle in Vietnam. The cultural expectation of purposeful dating means leading someone on has real consequences. Thailand fits men who prefer more day-to-day independence within their relationship and can handle indirect communication. If you are patient, perceptive, and comfortable with a partner who shows love through action rather than words, Thai relationships can be deeply rewarding. Men who need direct communication and constant verbal reassurance often feel disconnected in Thailand. What seems like everything being fine might actually mask brewing problems. Learning to read Thai social cues is almost mandatory for long-term success. None of these countries is better than the others. They're different. The right choice depends entirely on what you actually want and how you operate in relationships. The men who struggle are the ones who arrive with an idealized fantasy instead of realistic expectations. Southeast Asia is not a magical place where relationship problems disappear. It is a collection of real cultures with real people who have their own expectations, needs, and deal breakers. The men who thrive are the ones who approach this with curiosity, genuine respect for cultural differences, and clear self-awareness about what they actually want. If you found this comparison helpful, I cover more content about life, dating, and retirement across Southeast Asia regularly. Hit subscribe if you want to see more. And if you are planning a trip to any of these countries, I have another video that covers the practical side of things you might want to watch next. It is on screen now. Thanks for watching.